Hola guys, bienvenidos and welcome back to the channel. So today I was going to go over some flashlights that I think are going to be helpful for you guys, and they're all going to be super affordable. The thing is, when people recommend me flashlights, I love flashlights, right? I have a whole bunch of them that I keep for different situations and scenarios, some big, some small. And whenever somebody recommends me a really good light, it's usually like $100 or so. I'm not looking to spend that on a light that I'm carrying around. I lose, I drop off a roof or anything like that. So it has to be really good, but replaceable. So I like to show you guys some neat options and affordable tools. So we're gonna do that right now. I can already tell you, I keep one on me, and this is probably gonna be one of my most recommended flashlights right here in the palm of my hand. So let's get into it. All right guys, for the most part, this is all of the flashlights that I believe that I have. These are going to be flashlights that I've bought. I will kind of go over where I got them and all that. Of course, all the ones that I recommend are going to be linked in the description in my tool link. I will also point out which ones were sent out to me, which are going to be by police security flashlights. I believe that's it as far as this goes. Everything else I bought myself. I don't know what order I want to go in, so let me just start with the pen lights. So these are all the pen lights that I've used or had recently. So we have two by Police Security Flashlights, which is going to be the Mole. I don't know if they carry it anymore. This one was sent out to me as a gift because they were taking too long with my order. They reached out. So for the most part, they're a good company. I've worked with them in the past. Nothing sponsored or anything, but they've sent out some stuff. So they sent me this one. Pretty good flashlight. I'll put up the spec on it. It's decent, right? So like I said, I'll put up the spec. I'll show you what it looks like in the dark. That way you can be the judge as to whether you think it's bright enough for you. Sometimes the lumens can be a little misleading because it also depends on how far out the light can project, like the focal point. Some have a wider range, some have a more narrow focused light. So like I said, I'll put that up for each one. So the Mole runs on batteries. This one's going to be 1 AAA, which is pretty cool. It does last a good while, and only having to put one in there is kind of cool, and it gives you a decent light. So a cool little pocket light if you need it, or a backup light. So that is the Mole by Police Security Flashlights. Also by them, this is one that I personally always carry on me. It's again, I'll have the name up. I forgot the name of this one. It is a rechargeable by micro USB. Wish that would have been a C, but that's fine. Micro USB port. Cap twists up and down for you to be able to charge it. That way it's always closed and it's not exposed and you can't get water in there. And this one has a wider range, as you can tell. Again, I'll show it in the dark and you be the judge, but I think it shows off pretty decent light. So it does have different modes on this one. It's, I think, the high, the low, and a strobe. And then you can kind of see off the side, there's a little ring. I don't know, it shows you that it's on. But this is one that I do carry in my bag as a kind of like a backup light. I always like having a pen light. And then this one, I would not recommend. The Quantam, I found them at Harbor Freight, and they seem to be a comparison to that police security one. This one slides down and it's rechargeable, so I thought that was kind of cool. I think it's micro USB. slide that back to cover it. But it's not as wide of a range. So like if you compare it to the other one, this one gives off more light. This one is a little more just narrow beam. You can kind of tell the difference there. So this is just thrown around in my van as like a ultimate backup if I don't have, or if all these other ones are not charged. So those are the pen lights I have. Now, as far as headlamps, police security, I did buy this one. I really enjoyed it when I first got it, but it is a little bulky. It is the Morph headlight. Only downfall is it's not rechargeable. I don't know if they changed that since I've had this. So it takes 4 AAAs. If it dies on you, you gotta grab a whole new pack. But this is pretty cool. They ended up sending me another one because they asked me how I liked it. They gave me one. I gave it to my dad. He loved it. We kind of had them for a while. Gave one to another guy too. And the cool thing with this one is it's a headlamp. So you turn it on. You can turn it on the top. Gives you a decent light. You can also just reach around the back of your head and turn it on and off. So there's 2 on and off buttons. Also, there's different modes. The 2 different modes are the outside LEDs and then the spotlight. So the outside LEDs give you a less light, but more around you, surrounding you. And then the other one is a spotlight, which is the one that I used. Also, it's removable. This stays on, or comes on, so that you can still see where you're looking, and then you can use this as a standalone flashlight. Also has magnets. So if you go to a surface, you can stick it up there. So let's say you're working in a furnace or something and you want to put it inside the unit on the little ceiling in there. You can stick it up. It'll illuminate what you're working on, and then you take it off and put it back on when you're done. And this thing itself is rechargeable. So there's no batteries in this. It will charge off of the unit itself. When it's red, it's charging. I think it turns green when it's done. So that one was kind of neat. All right, and then I had my eye on this, and then I finally saw Cooling with Kraus had done a review on it. This is also a headlamp that works, or is very compact. So putting it away in the tool bag, you kind of just fold it up and put it in your bag. Super simple. Remove it. There is a on and off on the side. This gives you a wide range to illuminate. There is a wave function. So right now it's on. If you wave over it, it turns off. Wave turns on. So if you can't reach for the button, your hands are sticky or something, you can go ahead and do that wave feature there, and it'll turn it on and off. I think they normally advertise this for like automotive people, but I use this one now. That one stays in my bag, especially because it's so compact. I wasn't able to carry this other one in my bag. This one, I love that you can fold it up and it goes in the side pouch. So when I'm working in a dark area, that's kind of my go-to. I can see enough around me with that long LED strip. And that one's pretty cool. So that's another one that I recommend. All right, now let's talk about some bigger lights. Let me go ahead and get this one out of the way. This is HyperTough. Now you can find these in obviously Walmart in the flashlight section. You can also find these in the automotive section. I think the only difference is the color. It'll either be red or yellow depending on where you find it. I'm pretty sure they've been changing the design on them lately. I have had these for a long time. This one actually is a newer design from an old one that I had, but I went and bought another one. This one, you can hold it. It has a handle there. It can be propped up if you need it to be. Pretty simple. And again, rechargeable. So you can charge it with a micro USB. So I have a plug for micro USB and another one for USB-C to charge half of these one way or the other, you know? Half for the micro, half for the USB-C. This one, I've never used it, but it also has an output. So you can charge something else, maybe another light, maybe your phone. I'm not sure how much it would give you, but you can have an output right there. The output is going to be 5 volts, 1 amp. Not much. So that's there. It has a little cover. Charge it up, 1 button. And that's a decent light. That's actually a pretty good light, if you can tell. Right there, it's daylight outside, so this is the best I can show right now. Again, I will show all these in the dark. You can be the judge on it. So it has 3 different modes. It has a strobe, high, low. Obviously, if you want to keep it a little longer, you have it on the low. But the main thing I use this for, and I think it has, I'm not sure if this is the one. I've never had to use it. But it says something about you can mount it on like one of their stands. So they do sell stands for these things where you can have it on a job site and, you know, prop it up where you need to. But like I said, it also has the kickstand. Usually I can put it on the shelf or whatnot, have it illuminate. But it has magnets. So that's mostly how I use it. So if I... mostly what I'm using it for is walk-ins when I change out fan motors and stuff and I have to kill the power and it ends up killing the lights too. So turn this on, and for most walk-ins I can just stick it on the wall and it's going to illuminate what I need it to. So the walk-in that I'm working on now has light for me to be able to see. I'll have this coupled together with a headlamp of my choice, and I'm very good. Then it also helps with the cooks and stuff, because you know when you're working there, they're still working, and you're gonna have people going in and out of the walk-in, and it's gonna be awkward if it's pitch black in there. So I like to illuminate as much as I can for myself and for anybody else that goes in. I used to have 2 of these. I think one of my guys walked away with it. I haven't asked anybody about it yet, but I'm sure they're using it anyway. But I used to have 2. I would put one on opposite sides of the box on each wall, and that would give me more than enough light, especially if I put it on low on both sides. It's enough light, and they're going to last you a long time. The battery lasts pretty long on these. I'm able to do a couple hours of work with that. So that's what that is. That's for walk-ins mostly. Any area that the room goes dark by cutting the power. So I do recommend one of those. HyperTough, Walmart, easy to find. Grab you a few. Just make sure it is the rechargeable one, because they do sell one that takes batteries. So moving on from that, we still have another Walmart one. This was actually my favorite until I found a different one. This is a nice slim flashlight, rechargeable. That's going to be the main thing. I prefer to use rechargeable flashlights. So this one, unfortunately, is micro USB. Like I said, I have a bunch of them that are like that, so I already have a cable for that in the van. And this one's cool, magnetic again. So we have a low, high, and then a spotlight at the top. So I thought that was cool. So you can use it as a traditional flashlight if you're just like walking around and want to point it around. You can have it illuminate, you know, the area that you're in. And then this swivels. So let's say you put it in the cabinet, you can angle it however you want to. So that's mainly why I had this one in my bag for, you know, reach-ins and different coolers. small units that I work on, or even an AC if you have a furnace that you want to put it in. If you're working in a tight spot, you just want to kind of hang this up and angle it and then get to work. So like I said, it'll be on. You can use the magnet there, and then however you need it to be, if you want it right above you, on the side, whatever. And it does have a hook as well. If you don't have anywhere to use a magnet, you can also use the hook. I never used it. It is plastic, but it's a light flashlight. I don't think it's going to break unless you slam this, but I don't know. Very versatile, different options. That's what I like about these lights. And I might put it back in my bag to have as a backup. But the only reason I got rid of this one is because I found this one, and I believe this is new. And this is going to be comparable to that switchblade that keeps getting recommended to me, but that's like 80 bucks, 100 bucks. This is the Icon, basically a switchblade. And this thing is bright. I think it's 800 lumens. So you can kind of tell there. Has lights on both sides, so has 2 brightness levels on both. Depending on you know, how you want to angle this thing. This thing is crazy. And I believe I turned it off. Yeah, you also got a little spotlight. So if you want to use it as a traditional flashlight, you can do that too. And this spotlight's pretty wide. And of course, you can use it folded up, magnet on the side or on the bottom. Put it up. That's a strong magnet too, and that's how I use it. Super compact, and of course rechargeable. USB-C, that's another plus. It has a little indicators there on the side, tells you when it's, or how charged it is. It will flash when it's dying. Also, what I like is that it gives you a very heads up warning. So this thing will start flashing when after you turn it on and it's low on battery, like on 1 or less. This thing will flash a couple times, but it'll stay on. It won't die. I've actually had a call, or several calls, or like 2 calls, where it's been dead, or it's gonna die. Gives me the warning. I kind of just lower it, and I can get through the call. It won't like quit on me. So it gives you a pretty good warning. So that's the Icon from Harbor Freight. All right, guys, and last but not least, and actually one of my favorite ones, we're gonna have these little flashlights here. They're kind of pocket keychain flashlights, but you know, don't underestimate them. Now this one I got off Amazon. It is a NiteCore. I'll put up which one it was. TipSE. I'm not sure if that's the model. I bought this one as a reference. Now these police security flashlights that you see here, you can buy them at AutoZone and Best Buy, so they're easy to get if you want to go look at them. This is off Amazon, but I bought it because it's comparable. So they're both rechargeable. We have a micro USB on this one and a USB-C on this one. So the police security one is not bad. You know, it's a decent flashlight, especially in the dark. So pretty good option if you want to have one on your keys at all times or on a keychain. So like I said, I bought this one just to have it. I don't really use this one, but it's a good option to have. Like I said, you can get those locally, most likely. If you want to go onto Amazon and get the best one you can get, I looked at a few different models, and this is actually going to be my favorite flashlight out of all this bunch right here, with the Icon being a very close second, but that's more like, that's a bigger flashlight, different use. This is just like the most convenient flashlight that I have. So this thing is so versatile. Now I put my own keychain on there. That doesn't come with it. It comes with the little loop there. But it has, well, it's bright for one. So like I said, I'll show these off in the dark, but this is a bright light. I believe it's like 1,000 lumens or something up there. So it has that, button on and off, and then you have a brightness setting. So the lowest is very low, and then you have a medium, which is not bad. I always use it on the brightest. That thing is awesome. So I just grab it off my keychain if I need a light. If I don't have my bag on me, this is like great. And then, you know, being rechargeable is kind of a must for me. So I can take it off and just recharge it. That clip there is awesome though. So if I'm in a dark area, this is my headlamp. I hardly use those unless I need a little more light around me, because that, like I said, that LED one that has a long strip gives off a little more ambient light from either side and all that. This one is more of a spotlight. And then sometimes this thing dies on me because I use it so much. But yeah, that's just like the best thing, right? Hand light, super convenient. It's always on you. You always have a headlamp. So what I carry on me is going to be that. Or these two are my main lights. So those are the ones that I would recommend. Like I said, backup lights. These are my main lights. These are my favorite lights to use. And none of these break the bank. Everything's going to be like under 50 bucks each. So I think this was 40. I think this was 40 also. Police security ones are pretty cheap. This one was probably like 20 bucks. Nothing over 50 bucks here. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video on my flashlights of choice. I just thought it'd be helpful. I really love this new one by Icon over at Harbor Freight. So if you guys are looking for some flashlights right now, you know, definitely check all these out. I'll link everything that I can, and I'll have all the specs and everything. And yeah, pick you up any of these that you enjoyed from this video. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys. All right, so it's not super dark, and I think my phone is making it a little bit brighter than what it is. But if I'm working on a unit here, it's actually quite dark. Like I said, my phone might be brightening it up, but if I have this as my headlamp, let's turn that on. That's on the brightest setting, and I can see like everything. It's super bright. Or if you want to go with the Harbor Freight one, turn off my headlamp. Stick it. That's on the brightest, longer LED side. So plenty of light if you're just working in one section. You can extend it out a little bit. If you want a little more control, this one is the side that flexes down.